There are only 6 letters that you can actually claim to be clear sounds if they come after this nun sakin or the tanween. So in the nun sakin or the tanween, if the alif or the ha or the kha, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, or the ayn or the ghain comes after nun sakin or tanween, then you can make clear sound. Otherwise, you cannot make any other sound. And remember the sounds, there's 6 different sounds. And there's always going to be a sound as long as you have a nun sakin or a tanween. The first sound is a clear sound. And you should know all the letters. Make sure you're familiar with the letters that are of the clear sound. And that is again alif, ha, kha, ayn, ghain, and ha. Now, the next situation is the fact that category does not have a subcategory. That category only has, that category can always use the YouTube, this channel to do your homework. How do you feel about that?
Very happy.
Alhamdulillah. So the nun sakin or the tanween, it always comes before a letter. Whatever letter comes after that, if it's an alif, if it's a ha or kha, an ayn, ghain, ha, then it's clear. Otherwise, it's going to be either a combination of letters with nasalization, or its subcategory, a combination of letters without nasalization. And that's the second category. It has 6 letters. It has a category within a category, meaning that it has a subcategory. Okay, let's make sure you know what the first category is. What is the first category of letters?
Maksud.
No. No, Shafat. The first category is idhar. Al-idhar. It's in what is known as the crash course. You have al-idhar. It means that these 6 letters, what 6 letters did I say earlier? Yes, what 6 letters did I say earlier? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No, no, that's the wrong category. You need to go to the alif, the ha, kha, ayn, ghain, ha, and hamza. You need to go to that. Alif, ayn, ghain, ha, kha, hamza, ha. Do you see that category?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's idhar category. That means that if those letters come after the tanween or the nun sakin, then the sound is 100% clear. But remember, that's the only category. That's 6 letters out of 28 letters. So how many letters does that leave us with?
22.
22. I'm going to give you the next 6 letters. And that, again, the category where you combine letters and you muffle that. You muffle the sound. The sound is muffled. It's a nasalization sound. So if you combine the nun sakin or the tanween with the letters that are in yarmaluna, the ones that you were saying earlier, ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, and noon, then you have to combine letters. You have to combine the tanween with that letter, the nun sakin with that letter. But you have to do so with nasalization, with the exceptions of 2 letters, the lam and the ra. Those you don't have nasalization. You just combine the sounds, but there's no nasalization. The 4 letters, yanmu, these have nasalization, and these also have combination of letters.
Yeah, hiccups.
So, all day, thank you very much for
Drink some
recognizing.
water.
I did that. Any other ideas?
Yeah, water, like if you just choke them.
Yeah. We really did get that message when we were younger than you.
Or
But
hold your breath for 10 seconds.
hold it for 10 seconds as I'm talking about tanween and nun sakin. You know, you come up with the most brilliant ideas.
It works all the time. I tried it before.
Yeah, well, please allow me to continue telling you while I'm not telling you because I'm holding my breath for 10 seconds.
Yeah, but it works. I'll count.
All right, getting on with it. If you have these 6 letters, you realize you have idgham, the idgham category. This is the combination category, and it has a subcategory that does not have nasalization. What 6 letters are these? What are the 6 letters of the second category?
Ya, roll, meme, lam, wow, meme.
There you go. And what's the subcategory within that category?
Idgham.
That's the name of the category. What is the subcategory within that category? It's 2 letters. They don't have nasalization. You just recite them with the combinational sound. That's lam and ra. There's no nasalization. When they come after the nun sakin and the tanween, there is just combination of the sound. The next category is iqlab. There's only 1 letter in that category. What letter is that? In iqlab.
Ba.
Ba, correct. Remember, it's very important that you understand that when a ba comes after a nun sakin or a tanween, it's a combination of the sound of the ba and a little meme. This is why it's different. If a ba comes after a mim sakin or a tanween or a mim sakin, then it combines the sound of the nun sakin, the tanween. It has nasal as well as a little meme sound. So this is for the ba. The next category, so how many letters are we left with? We had 6 and then we added 1, leaving how many letters out of 28?
15.
Those 15 letters, they all belong to the ikhfa category. Ikhfa has 15 letters. They are nasal, light. They're called light nasalization. It's not heavy nasalization, but they will have a few letters which are going to make up the subcategory of the ikhfa. Those are heavier nasalizations, but there still is no combination of the letter in the nun sakin or the letter in the tanween. That's the difference between the ikhfa and the idgham. With the idgham, you have the combination of letters. With the ikhfa, you don't have combination of letters. So going over the example, if you open up and you see in Surah Nas, what do you say in Surah Nas? Where is the example in Surah Nas? Min sharril. Right. Open to Surah Nas. When you see the nun sakin in Surah Nas, you will see min sharri. This sound, the sheen, you have to know what category does the sheen belong to. That's how you will figure out what voice or what sound are you going to give it. You have a nun sakin, sheen came after it. What category does the sheen belong to? Somebody think.
To the other.
Which other one? Which category? You're right. I think you're right, but you have to explain yourself.
The one with the 15.
The one with the 15. It's called ikhfa. You need to write it down in English so you don't forget. But that is, sheen is a light ikhfa. It's not a heavy ikhfa. You won't say min sharri. No. Min sharri. Min sharri. Next, again, min sharri. It would be the same rule. Next, you have ghasiqin. Either. So now you have tanween is followed by the hamza. What category does the hamza belong to? Hamza belongs to what category?
Idgham.
No, but close.
Idgham.
Idhar.
Oh, idgham.
Don't forget, the 6 letters of idhar are what? Al-idhar, alif, ha, kha, hamza, ayn, ghayn, yep, ha. These are letters of the clear. So that's why you don't say ghasiqin idha. No, you cleared. Ghasiqin idha. Same thing for حاسد إذا. There's no combination of sound. There is no muffle or nasalization or adding of any letters there. However, you're going to ask yourself, the next Nunu Sakin, what is going to be the rule of the next Nunu Sakin? The Nunu Sakin in the next surah, what is it? Walam.
Find it.
Yeah, you want her to, where is your book, sir?
I was just about
The
to ask
back.
that.
Thank you. Get it out.
You're not in the new.
Get.
Read your own book.
Yeah,
You have
salam.
Or
one.
you're not following
Allah.
instructions.
No, you aren't either.
Maybe. Oh, nah.
Okay.
You
What?
said next surah.
Oh, next surah.
What surah is it? قل هو الله أحد
Yeah.
الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد. What's the next ayah? The la-
Maashaa'Allah.
Okay, you're in the wrong ayah. You're in the wrong surah again. There's no min shari in قل هو الله أحد.
Maashaa'Allah.
Why are you saying you're in the wrong
Min-
surah?
You're in the
Shari.
you're in the wrong surah.
I'm in Gula Udu bi
Read
Rabbi.
قل هو الله قل هو الله أحد. See it pays
Oh.
off. Yeah.
Gula Udu.
قل هو الله.
Gula.
Yeah, missing class, dodging, it all catches up to you somehow, you know? Yeah.
Man, it's just a mistake.
It's a mistake? Okay. قل هو الله أحد.
Yeah.
Okay. Let
What are you
him.
trying to find?
Yeah, he's trying. قل هو الله أحد.
I'll let you find it then.
Find the Nunu Sakin in قل هو الله أحد. Where's the surah قل هو الله أحد for you?
Are you? Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
She circled it.
Kun.
Yakun. Yakun. Okay. What is the letter that came after the Nunu Sakin?
It's a lamb.
It's a lamb. What category does the lamb belong to? You're going to have to know this. You have to know this. There's no way you're going to move forward and recite Quran if you don't know Tajweed. You have to know Tajweed. You have to know the rules and you have to apply them. So what letter does, or what category? Idgham. Correct. But this is the subcategory of idgham. So it means there's no nasalization. There's combination of the letter with the kaf. You're not going to say yakun lahu. You're going to say yakul lahu. Yakul lahu. But there's no nasalization. So the sounds are really important. At the end of the day, it's all about if you made the correct sound. If you don't know rules, chances are you're just going to repeat whatever sound you hear. And sometimes, and most of the times, you're not going to be able to justify why you're making that sound because you don't know the rules. Next, we have kufuwan ahad. What is the rule of the tanween in kufuwan ahad?
Get your own book.
I don't really feel like it.
He doesn't really feel like in his own Quran, although he is here for a Quran class.
Wow, Shafat, you can't get your own Quran and you're here in Quran.
I don't know.
Your bag is right there.
It's
Okay,
the third one.
the third one.
The 15 letter one.
15 letter.
What did the 15 letters, have to do with, this is kufuwan,
One.
kufuwan ahad. So what is the letter that came after the tanween?
And,
What is the tanween?
oh, Kufu one. That's the other one. So, oh, it's a
And so what?
egg.
Idhar.
Egg har.
What letter came after the tanween?
Ali.
Alif. So that means that you have idhar. That's why you're reading kufuwan ahad. Again, it's clear. Everything works out there. The last one you have is ahadun. Ahadun. Now, remember that the Quran does not stop. Just because it's the end of the surah, any surah, that doesn't mean that the Quran ends. Quran continues to go. If you are going to read from this juncture to the next juncture without stopping, what would be the rule of this tanween? What would you read at the end of the surah anyway? At the end of any surah, with the exception of one surah, what would be the next uttered ayah that you recite?
Noon sakin.
No. But that could be somehow close, but Nun Sakin is not going to help you out with this. This is about Tanween, and it's about Iqlab. When you stop at the end of the surah, the next surah, again with the one exception, it starts with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Oh.
So what's the first letter in Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim?
Ba.
Ba. Good. So the end of this surah is end with Tanween. If you go on, you would go on to Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and therefore the root will be Iqlab, because Ba is the only letter of Iqlab. Next, in Surah Masad, Lahabin Watab. Now, what do you have? A Tanween or a Nun Sakin?
A tanween.
Very good. And what is the rule of this Tanween?
What rule?
The rule of Tajweed. That's why you're learning this. What sound are you going to give to this Tanween?
A clear sound.
Why are you going to give it a clear sound? Does a clear letter come after that Tanween? What letter comes after that Tanween?
A ta.
A Ta?
Yeah.
In Tabbat Yada Abi Lahabin wa Tab?
Oh, I thought you were doing lahabu.
Lahabin, yeah, okay. So after the Kasrataini Tanween, what letter came after it? Why you say Ta? Wow. So why you say Ta? You can't mix things up.
Ta is not a
Listen.
tajweed.
Hey, stop. You listen, you follow, you strong. It's not, a time to fall asleep like me. I can do it because I know it, but you know. You wake up, you pay attention. This is really good information. If you don't have it, you're not going to be able to speak on my wrongdoing, but on yours. Listen. So the wow. This wow belongs to what category?
To the idagwam.
Idgham, with or without ghunna, with or without nasal. Does it have nasal or does it not have nasal?
It has nasal.
It has nasal. All right. So how would you read that? Lahabin watab. You hear the nasal, you hear the combination of E letters. Right? Then the next example, anhu. Do you have a nun sakin or do you have a tanween? Anhu.
Noon sakin.
Nun sakin. Okay? What letter came after the nun sakin?
Uh-huh.
A ha. Ha. Right? Ha belongs to what category?
To the idgwar.
Idhar.
Idhar.
Idhar. Okay? You have to say these categories correctly. And when you get the question is, what is the rule of this nun sakin? What is the rule of this tanween? And you'll be able to identify it if you know the category correctly. You're looking at it, you look at the letter after it, and you say that this hamza, or this tanween, or this nun sakin, its rule is going to be clear or idhar. The rule is idhar, which means clear, and it's because that the hamza came after the tanween or the nun sakin. In this one that we're on, anhu, the rule of the nun sakin is going to be idhar, because the ha came after the nun sakin. Next example, naran dha. Right? You circled your examples and then you gave him the book. What a good...
He took my book.
Okay. Can you please get your book out, sir?
What's the magic word?
Now, Allahu Akbar, get it out.
You said Allah.
Allahu Akbar. Yeah, that's what he taught me the magic word to be. Allahu Akbar, get it out, and make sure you identify your own nun sakin, your own tanween. This is 4 surahs. We're actually going to do Al-Fatiha at least has idhar in it. So, naran dha. You have a tanween, you have to know what the rule of this tanween is going to be. How do you identify the rule of the tanween in this example? نارا ذا. How do you identify it?
It's a raw.
What is a ra?
Raw fatateni.
Okay, yeah, but what is the rule of this fathatani is the question. What is the rule?
Nasal.
It's a light nasal. And why is it a light nasal? Because what?
There's a alif.
Yeah, this alif is for the fathatani. This alif is not a letter that comes after the fathatani. This is specifically for the fathatani. So what letter comes after the fathatani? In نارا ذا. You circled it, right? نارا ذا سيصلى. ذال.
Dab.
ذال.
Dab.
Did you do the drill on the? No?
Nope.
Okay.
What is that?
Listen to me, okay? You are a nice guy, Shafat.
Why, thanks.
You're a likable guy, all right? Everybody knows, your situation in terms of, okay? But you need to be very, very attentive. If you are not saying your letters correctly, you are not going to memorize or recite Quran correctly. And if you're not doing that, it defeats your purpose of even learning it. So you don't want that, I'm sure. Listen carefully. This is a dal. It comes after the tanween. The rule is going to be ikhfa, and it's going to be a light ikhfa. Then you have the same scenario, lahabin wa. The rule there is going to be iqlab. Is going to be idgham because the waw came after the tanween. Habalummi. So you have an idgham because the meme came after the tanween, and the meme belongs to idgham, and then you have mimma. Mimma. So this is going to be idgham. The rule of the nun sakin is going to be idgham because the meme came after the nun sakin, and the meme belongs to idgham with ghunna. So if I say masadim bismillahir rahmanir rahim, what's the rule of that one, Shafat?
What?
Of the tanween. Masadim bismi. What is the rule of the tanween?
Masadim bismi.
Yeah. So what is the rule of the tanween? Masadim bismi. What is the rule? What letter came after the tanween? Talk to me.
Where is it?
In the last part of the surah, Masad.
Oh, Masada.
Yeah, it has two kasras, right? Right, wrong, yes, maybe.
Mim Masada?
Masadim, what is the rule of the tanween? What letter comes after the masadin? What letter? Yeah, you gotta follow along. I am ba. Okay, so what is the rule of the tanween? You gotta believe me when I tell you. I'm the only one to fall asleep in this class and still turn out all right. I can teach the class while I'm sleeping,
It's the one with the ba.
It's true.
Only.
What's that?
It's the one with the ba. Only.
So, what is the name of that category? You have to know. You have 4 categories and 2 subcategories, making it a total of 6 categories. And these 6 categories, what happens is that these 6 categories are again al-idhar, al-idgham, al-iqlab, and al-ikhfa. So you have
It's the
to.
Iqlab.
Okay, it took you long enough, but
I can't read your hand.
there are number of things you have to take into consideration. You have 28 letters. Each of those letters have a possibility of 7 different sounds. Fatha sound, kasra, dhamma, sukun, fathataini, kasrataini, dhammataini. How many sounds? 7. So imagine 28 times 7 is how much? 100 and when you when you subtract the one, it comes up to 195. Yeah, O. Quite different. And there's no O in Arabic. There's no O, there's no X. You understand? C and S is a cheating situation in English. In Arabic, you have seen, but you don't have C and then S. Like they both sound the same. They're both scenes. They both generate the scene sound. But Sod is different. You don't have Sod in English. You don't have Ghain in English. You don't have G in Arabic. So these letters or these sounds that you're using and you're trying to supplement with the Arabic sounds, they're not going to work. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. You cannot use an O and call it A. It doesn't work. It means that you muffled what was supposed to be clear. So I think that should be suffice. So if we go back, we will see Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس. So من شر light nasalization. وسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. So there's only one there. We go to Surah Falaq. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر. Nun Sakin, the rule of the Nun Sakin is going to be إخفاء because Sheen came after it. And Sheen belongs to the إخفاء. من شر ما خلق ومن شر another Sheen. غاسق إذا. That is going to be إظهار. غاسق إذا وقب. ومن شر. That's going to be إخفاء. Light إخفاء. غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. So that's going to be إظهار. Then we go. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له. This is going to be إدغام. كفوا أحد. This is إظهار. أحد بسم الله. This is إقلاب. When the back comes after the tanween. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب. This is going to be إدغام with غنة. ما أغنى عنه is going to be what? إظهار. Because the ها came after the nun sakin and the ها belongs to إظهار. نارا ذات. ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب. سيصلى نارا ذات. This is إخفاء. لهب وامرأته. This is going to be إدغام. Again, listen carefully. لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد. في جيدها حبل. This is إدغام. مما إدغام. مسد بسم الله إقلاب. So make sure you go over it, because I assure you every step of the way is going to reinforce your next phase. Any questions?
Nope.
Sure.